Welcome ladies and gentlemen, a Mercedes kind of sentiment, luxury and trust in me to honor the free we all should be. It sees my sundial burst into yin and yang, right and left, me and you. I'll put it with no driver or a screw. See, I did undo all that I knew.
I am back again. Welcome back to Fitspiration with Lady T. Of course, you know I'm your girl Lady T, and I wanted to come back to y'all with something that's extremely, I can't express how important it is to weight loss. Working out is cool. It's cool, but you're not going to get anywhere in this game if you are not hitting your macros correctly. You might say, what are macros? I'm going to explain macros today. You will not get anywhere if your caloric intake is not correct. So what I'm going to do is to explain basically how much should we be eating to cut weight or to lose weight. How do we figure that out? How do we get to these numbers? What are macros? How do we figure out how many carbs we should be eating? How do we figure out how many fats or how many grams of protein that we should be eating? By the end of this video, you will know exactly, or you will have a clear idea of where to go and how to figure that out. Okay, I have some notes with me today just to help me stay on track because I do ramble and lose my train of thought. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is figure out your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. How do we do that? We are going to use the most widely used equation that is out there when it comes to predicting caloric intake, which is the Harris-Benedict equation. So what you would want to do is we would first have to figure out what our BMR is, okay? So this is the equation on how to figure out your BMR. Now your BMR is the total number of calories that your body needs each day to survive, period. Like if you were in the hospital and they had to feed you through a feeding tube, this is how many calories that they would give you because you're not doing anything but laying in the bed, resting, trying to get well. So your body would at least need this amount of calories to survive, to exist. Okay, we're going to throw that one down. Now I'm going to give you some examples of that. Let's say, and this BMR is only for women. I did not do a BMR for women and a BMR for men. I just did the BMR calculation for women. Just want to make that clear. Okay, so here you have a 38-year-old female who is 180 pounds, who is 5'6". So how will we plug in her information into the equation? Like so. So you see right here they want the weight, so you just plug in her weight. You would plug in her height in inches, and then you would plug in her age. Go ahead and do all the equations inside the parentheses, which I've done here, and you come up with these. Then you would add this to this. What you get there, you add to this. Then you subtract the last number, and you would come up with this. So for this 38-year-old woman who is 180 pounds, was 5'6", she would need 1,569 calories to just exist. Okay. But we do more than just exist. So we're going to get to that part in a minute. Here's an example too. We have a 34-year-old female who is 160 pounds and who is 5'8". Okay? We will do the same thing. Plug in her weight, plug in her height in inches, plug in her age. Plug it in, you calculate those. And we came up with 1,510 calories. Like I said before, we do more than just exist, right? We get up, we walk, we move, we breathe. Most of us in this fit fam world, we go out and we exercise at least 3 to 6 times a week. So the next thing that we have to do is to determine our activity level. Okay? So once we have determined our BMR, which is how many calories we need for our body just to exist and survive, the next step would be to determine your activity level. Now, if you're sedentary, which means you're just basically on the couch or in the bed or in the hospital or not doing anything, you would use, this is minimal activity, you would use 1.4 as your activity level. Light activity, this is what I use for my activity level for this reason. Now, I do work out 6 days a week, but that's only for 2 hours at a time. So most of my day is not spent working. That's just 2 hours out of my day. So I choose, and most people will fall into this range of light activity, which is 1.5, which is like 1 hour moderate activity or exercise per day. So I kind of fall into this bracket. Okay, moderate activity. That means like a manual labor job. Like most of your day you're up and you're moving heavy equipment or you're doing something that's very strenuous on the body. And that activity level will be 1.6. Okay, now very active. Now here we are talking about an athlete, or we are talking about a person who's in the military, a person who is actively on the go. Most of us, that's not going to be us, but their activity level would be 1.9. Okay, so now that we've got our activity level, and most people's activity level is going to be 1.5, we are going to multiply your activity level by your BMR. Okay? So once you've multiplied your activity level from with your BMR, I went back to my example 1. Now the lady in example 1, she needed 1,569 calories just to survive. Okay? When you multiply it by her activity level, this 2,353 is the amount of calories she would need to maintain her weight. She doesn't want to lose. She doesn't want to gain. She just wants to maintain her weight. So this is what she would have to eat. Okay? Example number 2, she was 1,510 calories. When you multiply that times 1.5, you come up with 2,265 calories to maintain her weight. But most of us are not in the maintenance phase. At least I'm not. You know, us women, we are never satisfied. So now that we know how many calories that we need to maintain our weight, what we are going to do is take the number 500. You say, Tanya, why 500? Because there are 3,500 calories in 1 pound. Now think about it. If we subtract 500 calories from our maintenance weight every single day, 500 times 7, what is that? 3,500 calories. So bam, there's your pound. Now, if you want to get even crazier with it, you can subtract 1,000. Now that's very aggressive. And once you go 1,000, you can't really go higher than that. So I would suggest you start at 500 and you can work your way up. 600, subtract 700, subtract 800, subtract 900, but never subtract more than 1,000 calories from your maintenance caloric need. That puts you in a danger zone, and that's unhealthy. Never do that. Okay. So for now, we're just going to do 500. So when you subtract 500 from her maintenance calories, example 1 would need 1,853 calories to cut weight. Okay? Approximately 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now example 2 would need 1,765 calories to cut weight. Okay? Approximately 1 to 2 pounds per week. You guys see that? Okay, so now I want to get into macros. What are macros? Macros are fats, proteins, and carbs. Okay, so when people are saying I'm not hitting my macros, that means they have a certain number of carbs, a certain number of fats, and a certain number of proteins that in grams that they are supposed to hit each day, and either they messed them over or they went under and did not hit the right amounts of macros. Now this is what I want to break down to you to help you understand calories and macros. Okay, there is one gram, what am I trying to say? 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. Okay, so and 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, and 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. So stay with me. There's 1 gram of fat in 9 calories. There are 4 grams of carbs in one. Let me slow down. There's 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. So let's walk with me, stay with me, and you're going to see how this works. Okay. So example 1, this lady needed 1,853 calories to cut weight. We know 1,853 calories of sugar and blah, 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 bad stuff is not going to help her cut weight. I don't care what she's doing. You have to break down your calories to where they work for you, right? So this is what I do, and this is because I weight train. But because I weight train, I am doing 30% fats, 30% carbs, and 40% protein. If your workout is mostly cardio, you're going to have to drop those carbs and drop those fats and up that protein like super high. Why? Because when you are doing so much cardio, you are burning through muscle. So you need to take in that protein, large amounts of protein, to preserve that muscle. You don't want to eat through your muscle. But for my needs, I do 30-30-40 split. So we're just going to work with those numbers just for this example. You can switch yours up to your needs. But, so if we do 30% fats, 30% carbs, and 40% protein, you just multiply 0.30 times 1853, and you're going to get approximately 555 calories. So 555 calories of fat, 555 calories of carbs, and when you multiply 1853 times 0.40, you're going to get 741 calories of protein. So how do we break these down into grams? How does this work? Okay, I said earlier, there are 9 grams. What did I say? See, let me back up. Hold on just a second, because I want to make sure I'm giving the right instructions. Let's back up. There's 1 gram per 9 calories, right? So we are going to divide our 555 calories by 9, because there are 9 calories per each gram. Okay? So then we come up with 61.6. Now I would just say 61. So you're going to take in 61 grams of fat. Okay? Same here with your carbs. You're going to take 4, because there are 1 gram equals 4 calories. So you're going to take your 4 and divide that into what you figured out was 30%, and you get 138. Now don't worry about the 0.7. Just take in 138 grams of carbs. Do the same thing with your protein. There are 1 gram for every 4 calories. So again, divide that and get 185. Okay, that's how many grams that you will be taking in of protein, doing it that way. Okay, So now y'all are seeing how to break that down. Now, when I'm finished with this, I'm going to show you how you can track it to make sure you are hitting your macros. Okay, just hang in there with me. For example, 2, she needed 765 calories to cut. Okay, when I did 30% of this, we got 529, and 40% of this is 706. When you break that down, divide the fats by 9, you get 58 grams of fat that she's going to take in. Divide that by 4, which is the carbs, and you're going to have 132 grams of carbs that she's going to take in. And then you divide this by 4, the 706 by 4, and you're going to have 176 grams of protein that she's going to take in each day. Now let me show you something. Then you would pick up your your handy dandy, not trusty dusty, but handy dandy MyFitnessPal. Get the app. Most people already do, but get the app. And what you are going to do is, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a section on here called goals. You want to click on goals. And right here, you can put in, it'll already figure it out for you. So all the things that we just did, this is already figuring it out for you. So you can adjust your calories. You can go in here and say, I want to do whatever percentage. Now it goes by 5s, but like I said, I do a 30-30-40 split. And you can see that they have it already figured out for you. I'm going to give this a chance to focus to see if it will focus. Okay, so once that's done, once you have that together, you can go into your diary and add your food. And go into your diary and add your food. And as you're adding your food, you can go back to, let me see if someone is calling me. Hold on just a second. Okay. As you are inputting your food, because this is your diary log right here. As you are inputting your food, you can go to, let me go back, to this little thing called nutrition. Do you see the nutrition tab? You hit nutrition and it shows you here. It shows you your total, your goal, and what you have left. Okay, so as you are adding foods into here, you will know, okay, I have 10 carbs left, I have blah blah proteins left, and I have blah blah fats left. So as you are choosing your foods, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but as you are choosing your foods, you can choose with a little bit more knowledge. You get what I'm saying? And then you'll know, okay, well last week, I didn't do so well, and I did 30% carbs. Maybe I should drop my carbs and raise my fats, because some people, a low carb, high fat diet works for them. So you can kind of play with it and adjust it from there. And like I said, when you find your maintenance caloric intake, you can adjust from there too. You can start at 500. Always start at the bottom because you want somewhere to grow. If you start at the very top and you max out and you plateau, there's nowhere else for you to go. You know what I mean? So it's always better to start out with 500, and then you see you're getting kind of a plateau at 500. Subtract 600 from that number. You plateauing that on, you see what I'm saying? So you always have room to grow. Remember, this is a journey. Don't rush it. The bottom line here is that we're getting healthy, that we're getting fit, and that we're doing what we need to do to get it together. Don't rush it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do anything crazy or silly. Okay? But thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I hope everything I explained was clear. If it wasn't, please email me or comment down below, or email me at Fitspirationwlt @yahoo.com, or you can find me on Facebook. What is it? I'm sorry, y'all. You can find me on Facebook at Fitspiration with Lady T. And you can leave me a message there. You can get in contact with me there. If you have any further questions pertaining to this, please feel free to ask, because I might have went too fast and may have been kind of jumbled and confused. But anywho, I hope it was very clear. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace.